Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to reinstall Linux Mint, or install Linux Mint. Reinstall or install Linux Mint. Anyways, here's how you do it. So you're going to need an existing Windows or Linux computer. Windows if you want like a dual boot with Windows and Linux, or if you want to just replace Windows entirely if you're completely fed up with Microsoft. Okay, anyways, you're going to want to take a USB flash drive. You're going to need a USB flash drive, your computer, and that's it. So, you're going to want to go to your web browser. You're going to want to go to linuxmint.com right over here. You click download for Linux Mint. You would choose, for me, and you could choose your version. You could choose the Me edition, the XFCE edition, or you could choose the Cinnamon edition, the most popular version. I personally recommend you choosing the Cinnamon version unless you're got really crappy hardware. Next, you're going to want to get the Linux Mint. I personally recommend this one, this mirror. Just make sure that you don't choose a fake one, of course. Make sure that doesn't happen. Anyways, click for Linux Mint. Once you get that, a mirror for Linux Mint, you're going to want to basically put it in a downloads folder, whatever. I'll put it over here. I'll put mine over here. Then you're just going to wait for your download to finish. This is about 3 gigabytes, so I'm going to be waiting a long time. So I'll see you guys when it's done. Okay, now my download has finished. Okay, now once you get that, you're going to want to go to your folder where you had the file. Okay, then you're going to need a USB flasher. For Windows, I recommend Rufus out of rufus.ie. And for Linux, you could use anything like Popsicle USB flasher. I just use USB image writer. It's literally just called that. So you take your USB drive, you plug it into the computer. Once you plug it into the computer, I will be using Documents, Linux Mint 22.2 Cinnamon 64-bit. I'm going to choose my 64-bit. I got to be careful. Okay, this one. USB SanDisk, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is it. Right. I'll be using a virtual machine for this, but you could just look at my video on how to get into the BIOS right in the description below, so, yeah. Okay, and this will take a long time, so I'll see you when this flashing is done. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to computer and go into the BIOS. I have that in the video in the description of how to get into the BIOS, but I could just create it. But for now I'll be using a virtual machine because I don't want to modify any of my computers. Basically it will be the same thing. Okay, typical. Use a physical drive. No, use ISO image? No. So you know what, I'll actually just use the ISO image because I can. So you're going to want to boot the USB drive from your BIOS. Linux, Ubuntu 64-bit. Okay. I'm just going to keep it as defaults. Okay. Then once you boot into the USB drive, you'll see this screen. You click Start Linux Mint. Once you finally start Linux Mint, you will at some point see a screen. You're just going to want to wait for a bit while you're waiting for Linux Mint to load, but just be patient. Come on, you see his like terminal? Come on. Load! Ugh. And as you can see, we have a mouse cursor. And I think at some point we could see. Come on! Come on! Up! Come on! Load! There we go. As you can see, we're in a virtual machine, or you could use your real computer. Install Linux Mint. Okay. Once you get there, you're going to want to click Install Linux Mint, so you want to double click the CD of the desktop to install Linux Mint. Release notes, I don't care. Yes? Sure, okay. Just a sec, guys. Yeah. I'm doing a tutorial video. Okay, once you get there, you're gonna wanna. I recommend you install multimedia codecs. I recommend you choose to check that option. Choose to check that option. I recommend. You can do it if you can ignore it if you want to. You can do it and ignore it if you want to. Okay, but once you get there, it will be dual boot with Windows. You can click that, or since this has no operating system, we can just erase disk and install Linux Mint, this virtual machine. So for this virtual machine, we'll click Install Now. Write changes to the virtual machine's disk. Yes, thank you very much. I would love to do that. New York, yes. Okay. Your name, Capybara. You actually, no, how about fart? Excuse my immature humor. Password, fart. Password, fart. Okay, let's actually create something good. We could probably just, I think we could just do it without a password, so, okay. One. Okay, log in automatically, I don't care. Once we get that, as you can see, we're installing Linux Mint. And this will show you, it will also be giving you a slideshow to show you some cool stuff like browse the web, okay, listen to music, watch movies and videos, manage your photos, stay connected, be productive, install software, run Windows software. You can do that through virtual machines, like VirtualBox, or what I'm using, VMware. You could use Wine, Bottles, even Winbow, which is like a Docker container for Docker. I prefer Winbow. Now, okay. As you can see, customize your desktop, which is very possible. As you can see, I've got a really cool desktop. This main computer is also running Linux Mint. So, yeah. Firefox web browser, find help, boom, there you go. So you could just go to the forums and stuff, and when you and then once it's done installing, it will ask you to restart. You click and restart now. It will boot you into the Linux Mint you just installed, and there you go. Now you've installed Linux Mint and you could use your stuff. And that is how you install Linux Mint or reinstall Linux Mint. See you guys.